So the soul-searching part is over. You've assessed your emotional status, your ability to cope with living on your own. You've had some practical experience in budgeting and managing your money. You've begun saving and paying for some of your own expenses. Your car, insurance, clothes. You're ready to launch. The only remaining question is, where to land? Let's consider the alternatives, starting with dormitories.
I think I totally blew that history quiz. I was so busy with college forms like financial aid registration and housing applications, I didn't have time to study.
Lindsay, are you living in a dorm next year?
Of course I am, Isabel, aren't you? Is the food better than here?
But honestly, I'm keeping my options open.
What options? Dorms are what freshmen do. They laid out all the benefits during orientation.
Such as?
Well, instant friends for openers. All your neighbors are exactly your age, and everyone's pretty much experiencing the same things, like studying and having fun.
Going to the same parties?
Probably. But dorms are also relatively safe and low stress. They have guards, they have security cameras, and yes, they have a cafeteria. Well, I'll be pulling 15 credits next semester, and I don't want to worry about cooking or catching a bunch of different buses.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, proximity, girl. You're not going to find an apartment closer to class than a dorm. And then there's what's called the study ethic. To stay in school, you have to keep a respectable GPA.
Everyone has to study.
Well, duh, everyone's a student. Besides, you live in a dorm and you're tapped into all the campus activities. Homecoming, rush week, everything.
Fair enough, but my brother lived in the dorms and he complained about it a lot.
Well, probably because it wasn't co-ed.
No, I don't think that was it. I'm going to ask him about it.
Trust me, the last thing you want to do is get roped into some dorm contract.
Right. Care to elaborate?
First off, everyone's a freshman.
So you'd have something in common.
It's the blind leading the blind, sis. Nobody's ever been to college, so they don't know the bureaucracy. They don't know who the good professors are or where to find anything. And they're also mature.
Okay, but I thought you really liked that roommate Darby or Dieter.
Dexter? But he was the fourth one I had. The first three were disasters. See, the housing office computer just spits out a name. It's like a lottery and I lost. I also got tired of all the rules. The RA's always busted people for just trying to have fun.
I'll bet.
And the place felt a little too communal for me. People marching through all the time, sitting on your bed, using your stuff. I had to go to the library if I wanted to study. Too many distractions.
Okie dokie. Thanks for the fresh perspective.
Anytime.
So let's recap what Lindsay's learned. On the positive side, in a dorm, she would meet dozens of students exactly her age. The friend pool is pretty deep in a dorm. Dorms are relatively safe, low-stress environments where most of your basic needs are met. There's a study ethic and a handy proximity to class. Dorms also are a center of campus activity and events. But because nearly everyone is a freshman, they know relatively little about the college or the many obstacles you may confront. Your roommate is often chosen by a computer, a random lottery that you could lose. Dorms impose lots of rules on conduct, but the rules may not prevent a communal, free-roaming atmosphere. Let's take a look at Lindsay's other option.
Hey guys, what's with the brochures?
Hey, Charisse. Lindsay's trying to sell me on the virtues of dorm life.
What about apartment life? That's where I'm headed.
Since when?
Since I talked it out with my folks and my cousin offered to room with me.
Lucky, no roommate lottery for you.
What lottery?
Oh, that's just one of my brother's objections. So, do you already have a place?
Not yet, but we're on the hunt. Most apartment leases in College Town run from September to September, and they start reserving about now.
But you're going to miss out on all the fun in the dorms.
Maybe, but I'll have a better study environment.
You think so?
Absolutely. I shut my door and have instant sanctuary. I can unwind, recharge, just kick it. I'll be the master of my own universe. Nobody telling me when to clean, when to eat, what time to get home.
Dorms don't tell you when to eat.
The cafeteria stops serving and you're out of luck. Me, I'll just stroll to the fridge. And it'll be a big fridge, not one of those dormitory mini bar things.
Okay, so you'll have your cousin, but I still think it'll be tougher for you to make friends.
There will be plenty of students around. upperclassmen, people with declared majors, graduate degrees, some kind of direction to their lives.
Oh my gosh, listen to her. She's not even enrolled yet and she's already a snob.
I'm not a snob. I'm just particular about my space. I like to decorate, like to choose my own furniture. And I can always visit the dorms if I want noise and parties.
Good point, Sharice. Cookie?
Oh, thanks, honey.
Tax time. Ouch.
It's too early to tell. I still have to calculate business travel.
I can calculate. I've had calculus.
Okay, hotshot. Add up these two stacks and give me a total.
I was talking to Sharice today. She's going to get an apartment for college.
Good for her.
And I was thinking it might be good for me too.
An apartment's a big step, an expensive step.
Well, I was comparing cost, and the price is comparable to a single dorm room without a cafeteria pass.
Well, yeah, but the move-in costs are much higher.
What do you mean?
Well, Isabel, if you move into a dorm, all you need are your clothes, your stereo, and your computer. You already own those.
Yeah, so?
Well, if you find a furnished apartment, you need everything. You don't want to sit on the floor and watch a television you don't own. You don't want to invite friends over for a stand-up dinner party that you didn't cook because you don't own cookware.
Okay.
And even if you find a furnished apartment, there won't be any cleaning supplies. There won't be anything in the pantry or the fridge. And somebody's got to take the food out of the fridge and cook it.
That's not fair. I cook.
I know you do, but sometimes you won't want to.
But I would have my privacy. Sharice calls it master of her own universe.
Well, sometimes alone translates into lonely. Sharice might be the only student in her building. And what if she has a bunch of working neighbors, married people who don't share the same tastes and interests she does? And don't forget about security.
Apartments have security.
The good ones do. But it varies. Depends on the rent. The less you pay, the less you get.
What about this option? I rent a private room in someone's home. People do that all the time.
Well, sure they do. I did it. But with that arrangement, you get a de facto roommate.
I get a what?
Well, if you find a room in a house and you share a kitchen, maybe a bath, then your landlord is your roommate. Now that's fine, unless you don't like your landlord or your landlord's extended family.
Maybe I'll just live in my car.
Well, nobody said this was an easy decision, but there are lots of positive things about apartment living. You have a sanctuary that is more private than a dorm. You can choose your roommate, or if you can afford it, live alone. There is no curfew and very few rules. You can decorate the space and fill it with furniture you like, and your neighbors will likely be older and more focused than your average freshman. But because you have older neighbors, the friend pool is much shallower in apartment buildings. In fact, you could be the only student in your building. Living alone can be lonely at times. And then there's the economics. Lots of hidden costs beyond rent, utilities, and a damage deposit. And speaking of damage deposits, it's probably time for us to address lease issues, roommate issues, and other practical stuff. There are some essential questions you will need to have answered before you even consider signing. Remember, a lease is a binding legal contract and should never be entered into lightly.
If you're renting without having seen the apartment, the list is much longer. But if you've inspected the place, if it meets your space needs and your budget, you still should know.
Who pays for the utilities and how much do they cost?
Is there a resident manager? If not, is there a 24-hour emergency number?
Are there laundry facilities in the building? If not, where's the nearest laundromat?
If you own a car, is there free parking available?
And if you don't, where's the closest mass transit stop?
And what is the proximity to other services? Grocery stores, parks, health clubs, restaurants, fire station, libraries?
Have there been any violent crimes around the building? What about fires?
Check out this one. Vegan female art student seeks similar.
Hold up, girlfriend. Before you start calling strangers about being roommates, you're gonna want to address some boundary issues.
Boundary issues?
As in, how well are you going to blend with this person? What are your personal boundaries?
You'll want to clarify what's shared and what isn't.
Seems like kind of a no-brainer. We'd share stuff like the furniture and the TV, and we wouldn't share clothes, bathroom
You'd be
accessories.
surprised. Your roommate might let you use her TV, but not her TiVo. She might borrow clothes without permission, eat off your dishes, eat your food off your dishes.
Her boyfriend might leave the toilet seat up.
Her boyfriend might not leave at all.
I haven't even met this person, and you're already making her into some party doll.
That's not even the worst case scenario. We haven't mentioned alcohol and drugs.
All right, I surrender. You always want to clarify boundaries. Possessions and personal habits. What we share, what we don't, when we sleep, when we study.
How loud we play music?
Pets, yes, no.
Drugs and overnight guest, no and no. My dad says it's also a good idea to set up a payment day. When to write the checks for rent, utilities, phone.
And don't ever room with anyone whose name isn't on the lease.
Okay. I guess that's about it. I only wish we were all going to the same school. That would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, but think of all the possibilities. We'll all be meeting dozens of new people each week, seeing new cities.
And we can always have a holiday rendezvous.
Our spring break.
Now you're talking.
We certainly gave you plenty to think about today. How your various housing options compare and contrast with each other. How cost differences, safety issues, and boundary issues with future roommates can inform your decisions. But we also want to stress how much fun it can be to live on your own. To be, as Cherie said, a master of your own universe. Starting out, that may be a small universe, perhaps just a bed and one half of a shared dorm room. But whatever home you choose, you'll have this pre-flight checklist in hand to help make it a soft landing. So goodbye and happy landings.